Hello, Taurus. Welcome to October 2018. So we begin with the Knight of Cups reversed coming out, which the minute it came out, the word timid came to mind. Timid or shy. And I'm wondering if you aren't going to be taking a little bit of a back seat this month, given the fact that we do have the Venus retrograde going on in Scorpio, the sign opposite yours, just kind of like trying to stay out of maybe like the drama, right? Trying to stay out of people's problems, trying to stay out of the spotlight, and, really keeping to yourself. And not in a negative, toxic kind of way, but actually in a way that I think is going to benefit a lot of people, because in a way, okay, so this is what I was going to say. Like, in a way, you have your own stuff. And you see in others that they have their own stuff. And while you can help people that you care about, and you can be there for the people that you love, and hopefully they are there for you in return as well, at the end of the day, you are the one that's going to need to make your way through that. No one else can really do that for you. That's something, that's your journey. That's your path. And you just might not really have the energy to be focusing on other people right now. And if you are in a significant partnership, like if you are married, or if you do have a boyfriend or girlfriend that you love and you care about very much, I would really recommend letting your other know that you're just kind of going through something, and that if you are kind of being a little bit quiet or whatever, that it's just, it's part of the process. The Five of Cups is a process. It's a process of figuring out how to stop looking at the Three of Cups that's spilled, and how to really see the silver lining, which is the Two of Cups there. How to see the good in the circumstances, and how to really extract the proper lessons from what you've gone through. Because a lot of times, when we're kind of in the midst of stuff, we're going to say to ourselves like, oh, well, I'm supposed to learn this. I'm supposed to learn this. But 2 years down the road, you're going to look backwards and be like, oh, wow, that really wasn't what that lesson was at all. The lesson was something completely different. And it's going to be important for you to just not worry so much about what the lesson is, but rather just kind of how to get through it. Not that it's really that bad, but the Five of Cups can have a melancholy vibe. It can cause distance in connections and friendships and things like that. And let's see what else comes out here. Oh, beautiful for a Taurus as well. This is just one of being grounded, which you are. Feeling confident. And this is the epitome of the self-reliance aspect of your archetype. Being self-reliant and being self-sufficient, and really relying upon no one. Now, if you need help, of course, ask for help. But I think that you have a really substantial amount of strength right now. I'm just trying to think. We've got Mars going direct in your 10th house, which gives a deal of, like ambition, right? But it's more focusing on the kind of the material or the outside world. So you probably have or are going to have a lot more success in the outside world, while your inside world might be feeling a little bit stagnant or stale. But I mean, that's fine, right? Because eventually your inside world will match your outside world. So if you are having a lot of career success, you're having a lot of feelings of like, wow, this is really going somewhere. This is really moving forward fast. This is amazing. Just keep going, of course. Of course, keep going with your own success. Of course, keep going with making money and getting that promotion or starting that new business. Be careful not to let your fears really get in the way, because a Knight of Cups can be a little bit fearful sometimes. He can kind of get caught up in the delusion aspect of it rather than the doing aspect of it. And that's really not what this month is going to be. It's not really going to benefit you in any way. I mean, it's not going to hurt you, but it's not going to benefit you, So to get out of that dream world and get into the real world will prove productive for you. 9 and 10 of coins. There's a lot of substantive indications of material success. People around you that love and support you. Again, see, I always look at this old man when I see this card, is how he's kind of separated from the group. Like I said before, if you are feeling melancholy or feeling a little bit just kind of out of place or feeling like you don't belong, look, it's your ruling planet going retrograde. Believe me, I have my ruling planet go retrograde every 3 months, so every 3 to 4 months. So it's, it's just kind of the way it is. It's the name of the game. And you pull back, you revisit things, you reevaluate things, you think of what truly matters, you reprioritize, and then you just take action, and that's fine, I think you have a lot of people around you that are really cheering you on. They're really standing in your corner, and they see you. They see you shining like this golden star here. They see you. They see you making your dreams a reality. Are you seeing you make your dreams a reality? That's the question, right? Are you seeing yourself making your dreams a reality? I think the people around you are seeing you succeed much more than you're seeing yourself succeed right now. That's going to, look, you guys, I have my moon in Scorpio, but it's in the second house, which is, your ruling your house, Taurus. And I know how stuck that energy can get sometimes. And I know how intensely you can feel. Unfortunately, you have a bad rap for not being very sensitive or not being very open, simply because you're in earth signs, right? Virgo, Capricorn get the same kind of reputation there. But I mean, you are very sensitive and you do hang on to things. And sometimes those things include fear and self-doubt and fear of being any value, like fear of, do I have anything really worthy to give? Do I really have a true value here in this space? Other people see that you do, but you got to get yourself on board with that. If you're really wanting a relationship, you're really wanting a partnership, you've got to get on board with the fact that you're freaking kick-ass and awesome, a 9 of coins. That's really what you are. Unfortunately, the kind of delusion that a Knight of Cups or a Piscean quality can really give us tends to, what's the word I'm looking for? It can manifest negatively, living in a negative delusion. Am I worth it? Do I have anything to offer? All the things I just said. It's going to be important for the things that for you to take a look at the things that you're feeding yourself. It's going to be important for to take a look at the things that you're hanging on to. It is difficult for a Taurus to change. It is. It is difficult for a Taurus to get uncomfortable, even if that discomfort brings an even greater level of prosperity. Which it will. Your discomfort will prove successful. And yet somehow you're looking at the 7 and you're not really quite seeing the 10. You're not even quite really seeing the 9. Be careful of how you cling to failures. Be careful of how you cling to the fear of failure, if you are in fact doing that. If you are a Taurus who has sort of confronted this sort of energy within your life throughout the course of your lifetime, and you've made peace with that and you've learned how to conquer it, there may be a tendency for you to kind of sink back. So you're going to have to be extra strong this month and really hold fast to this newfound self that you've found. Because it is going to propel you into a 9 and 10 of coins. It is going to propel you into new realms of success. But because you are so good at manifestation, That is your natural ability. Because you are so good at that, you need to be careful that you're not manifesting the negative things, because manifestation is neutral, right? It doesn't care. It's going to give you whatever it is that you are really wanting, you know? And if you're so focused on everything you don't have, 7 of Pentacles, then it's not going to give you the 10. It's sensitive right now. Venus being a planet of manifestation, the energy is sensitive. It's volatile right now. 9 of Wands, let's start with that first, signifies, it's 9 of Wands reversed, right? So we've got this quality of releasing the guards, or kind of like letting the guards down, allowing for the flexibility and allowing for the flow in your life. 2 of Cups is one of communication, heart-to-heart connection. There is a romance element here as well. Some of you may feel distant from your partner, but actually, in a weird way, the distance may ultimately bring you closer together. One thing that I know that Taurus does struggle with too is vulnerability, because it is built into that archetype to be able to take care of yourself. Now, you're fine taking care of yourself and you are fine taking care of others, but sometimes it can be really hard for you to let other people take care of you. And in a way, there's that fear of that dependency. Like if there's anyone who's not codependent in the zodiac, I would say that it's Taurus. That's just my humble opinion. If anything, you're the one that other people become dependent upon, right? But now is a time for you to make that equal, right? Because you've always been there for your significant others, for your friends, and for your family members. And it is important for you to let them be there for you. And I think this is a time when you even that score. Talk to the people in your life. Talk to the people that you love and that you care about, and tell them what's really going on. You know, they might not give you this big old hug and coddle you and, you know, tell you everything you want to hear. It's not a time of the year for that. And I've been saying this in almost every sign. This is a time of honesty. When Venus goes retrograde in Scorpio, of all signs, you know, it's one of authenticity, as we know is embodied by the Scorpio archetype. Authenticity. Let's get real with stuff. You know, there's no room for pretense. There's no room for being fake. It doesn't have a place here. So if you come together in a heart-to-heart with someone, be prepared to be honest, and be prepared to receive honesty as well. They're going to have stuff to say to you, and you're going to have stuff to say to them as well. You do have a thick skin, but I know that underneath that thick skin, you are also very raw and sensitive and very proud as well. We all have that pride. And now is not the time to let that pride rule you, because you are changing. We are all changing, okay? And next year, with this build up to the Saturn-Pluto conjunct in 2020 in the sign of Capricorn, you know, we are going to be feeling a deepened concentration on the bubbling up of the things of our inner psyche. Again, Pluto, the ruling planet of Scorpio. So it's about breaking down and transformation, breaking down the crystallized structures in our life. And it's beginning right now. Like this Venus retrograde in Scorpio is kind of the preemptive energy to that. So this is going to be an ongoing story. It's going to be an ongoing process for you. So if you let down, you know, your guard, let down your barriers and your boundaries, and open yourself up, you can get through this very easily. This transit doesn't really have to be a big deal. It can just be something that you just, okay, well, that is what it is, you know, and you just change and you just go with the flow. You don't have to be brittle and fragile to this. Think of this as practice, you know. And when I say honesty, I don't mean like just being a jerk for the sake of like, oh, well, I'm being honest. There's still an element of compassion and care. You do still have to recognize that, and they have to recognize it too. Again, two-way street. Things I'm saying apply to both people. You do have to take into account that they feel the same way you feel, and, think of it as how would you want them to say it to you, kind of thing. So be compassionate and be empathic as much as possible. Lots to clarify in the comprehensive. I'll probably start with the Knight of Cups reverse unless we get something else. We'll clarify that. We'll clarify that as well. Probably the Seven of Pentacles too. Chariot, life purpose. There is a aggression here. Again, Mars in the 10th house for you guys. There's activity, man. Like there may be internal stuff, but man, on the outside world, things are happening for you. Don't be afraid to take a chance this month with something professional. It may change and it might not be exactly what you think it's going to be, but I really think that you're on par to take your outside life to new heights, and that your inside world will match that. The Chariot is one of directedness. It's one of persistence and willpower. And it is one of divine inspiration, right? Divination. Receiving those divine messages and being able to allow yourself to be directed by your higher self. The black and the white, as I always say, representing the masculine and feminine, representing the head and the heart working in tandem. Sometimes these sphinx can kind of go amok and, they can go in opposite directions, kind of tearing your chariot apart or playing a tug of war. But if you can really understand and do the work and practice on how to have that head-heart alignment, again, that also comes through honesty and being truthful and not repressing things that need to come out for the sake of the greater good. Once you do that, and once you put that into practice, it's kind of like a clear channel, just completely open for you. The Knight of Swords suggests determination. It suggests aggression, like the healthy kind. I will clarify him in the comprehensive. I think this could be someone that has something to say. There's clearly a desire for them to talk to you, and you seem to be, again, kind of in your own little world a little bit. But, that conversation ultimately does seem to be happening. There's something they either want from you, there's something that they see in you. They want to be a part of what you have going on. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to turn out, so we'll figure that one out. But they clearly are probably going to be the one that initiates stuff, right? They're going to be the one that brings things to the table, and they're like, hey, Taurus, like, you got to think about this, or Taurus, you're not treating me right, or Taurus, I'm sorry for doing this to you, or, whatever. They seem to be the initiators here. So let's see what else comes out. Let me move these over a little bit here. Okay, well, we're getting a couple. Here's your card, reverse. Let's start with that one, because Hierophant reverse represents turning your back on some kind of an institution or a belief system. And again, Scorpio is a very rebellious sign. Scorpio does not like to conform. It likes to, do its own thing and be in its own world. And, to have your ruling planet over there doing the retrograde, that can be a little bit tough sometimes. Your value systems are really getting put under the microscope right now. Your value systems, your belief systems, and all sorts of things. And it can make you feel a little bit, I'm kind of feeling as though you are getting a vibe that you're not as progressed as you thought you were. And I'm feeling maybe that's even kind of what this disappointment is with the Five of Cups, is you're not as far along as you thought you would be at this time. First of all, it's okay, right? I mean, no one is. And second of all, this is going to be the reset or the reboot that you really need. There's really no need for any kind of pessimism at all at this juncture. Change is just a part of life. And I know some people are better at it than others. Some people embrace it better than others. But at the end of the day, we are all changing all the time. And while the kind of light at the end of the tunnel might be a little far or out of reach, you do still get the flickering at the end of the tunnel, right? You're still being directed. You can still see where this is going. This is all about healing. It's all about optimism. And it is kind of even like a baptism. I often see like the water kind of rushing down on us and, cleansing us. There's a cleansing quality with a star. A star is about liberation and freedom as well, and working together. I really suggest reaching out to the people that you care about at this time and really being there for them, listening to them, getting yourself on board with what they're doing, and not really worrying so much about your own stuff, because you're going to be thinking about that anyway. But sometimes it really does help to get out of your head and help someone else with the problem, because it helps put your own stuff in perspective. And look, like I said, you have so much value and people see all the value that you have. I'm really worried that you don't see what it is. So if you are helping people change and you are inspiring people as well, you then in turn can reflect back on yourself and be like, oh wow, I really said something to help someone. Maybe I really do have more than I thought, kind of thing, The Ace of Coins in the reversal suggests that there are things coming for you in the professional realm. They are dependent upon your ability to kind of turn your mind around, right? To turn your back, to see the Two of Cups that are still full, and to begin seeing the positive things. Once you start seeing that stuff, this is going to just come barreling in. Once you learn how to release something that seems to have been crystallized in your life, in your mind, in your psychological programming, you release yourself from that and you open the floodgates, almost kind of like what I see here. You open the floodgates for things to come and good things, right? This is an indication of positive stuff. Recognition in your work, being acknowledged, accolades, again, promotion. There's upward movement here within the hierarchy or within your community, or just, how you even think of yourself. There's a process of upgrading going on here, which is really fantastic. So I'm excited for you, Taurus. There's lots to clarify in the comprehensive, so we'll move forward with that. If you guys, if you don't join me on the website, then I will see you next month. All right. Thank you guys so much. Take care.